How many of you watched the video clip of the new Malaysian Energy Minister, Ms. Yeo Bee Yin, at her first town hall address? I did, and it blew me away. I don't usually make commentaries on ministerial speeches, but there were so many positive lessons in this communication in her opening address, and those of you who know me know that I'm very big on communication, that I'm going to make an exception here and highlight some of those lessons. She first sets the tone very early on, in the very first minute in fact. She wanted to get the honorifics out of the way. She wanted to break down barriers of rank and status. She wanted everyone to work together on equal terms. For me, she regarded the goal of the town hall as more important than the status of each individual in the room. Let's listen.
Actually, I'm a very casual person. I am just hoping that this town hall would be a very casual town hall where you talk to not your leaders, but a partner of yours in renewable energy industry.
At the later part of the speech, she again spoke to the delegates like she needs them. Have a listen here.
And only through an ecosystem where businesses can thrive, that technology and innovation will come and solve our people problem. That is why I'm here to listen to you. What do you need from me so that you can thrive?
In my own communications classes, I tell my students to make the audience like them very early on. When your audience likes you, they are more motivated to continue listening to you. That's exactly what Ms. Yeo did. She started with a joke about having the longest title in history: Minister of Energy, Technology, Science, Climate Change and Environment. After that, she dived right into the overriding message that she wants the audience to take away: what we want.
As the Energy Minister, what we want is affordable, reliable, sustainable, and also long-term energy security for our country.
She then also used another technique. I tell my students, use statistics to rouse the emotion before the logic. Let's listen to this.
But if we look at the trend for the past 2 decades, we are seeing, because of cost consideration, we are seeing a lot of coal-fired power plant coming up, mushrooming from 8.3% in 1996 to 42.5% in 2016. If we do not put a stop in it, there will be more to come. And a lot of people say that because it is cheap, therefore we are going ahead. And I want to tell you that because we do not produce coal in Malaysia, so for long-term security, one day if there is a glut, if there is certain things that is happening that beyond our control, our country will be in trouble because we are relying on something that we do not have.
So she didn't just present the facts, she used those facts to connect with the sense of helplessness if the current trend is not addressed. She made an emotional case with those numbers. Now, as I come to the midpoint of her address, I noticed she wasn't reading a script. Not only that, she used simple words in simple, active voice sentences. I'll tell you why this is important later, but let's listen now.
I want to say this is that we have actually decided to cancel 4 of them. You will hear news in time to come. For a reason that because Malaysians do not need that many power plants at this moment. We have a reserve margin of 30% at this moment. And many other countries around the world, even the developed countries, do not have this 30%. And the users need to pay for this 30% every time they pay for the electricity bill. There are 2 things that we can come out from it. Is one, we can afford to cancel some of the IPP contracts that has no cost implication to the government. Second is that we have time to develop a new energy industry, and that is renewable energy industry.
Now, I'm skeptical of politicians who read from a script, simply because I don't believe them. Someone else could have written that script, but I believe every word that Ms. Yeo said. She appears to speak straight from the heart. And that part about active and passive voice. Now here's an example of a passive voice sentence. This will receive our attention. Versus an active voice version of the same sentence, I will look into it personally. Tell me, which one carries more responsibility? Which one is more sincere? It's a no-brainer, right? Active voice wins hands down. So I am wary of politicians who use passive voice sentences too often. It means they may not take responsibility for it. The existing process or system would take care of it. The next part shows Miss Yeo's genuine care and love for her people. She said that when she was just elected in 2013, she visited a rural area in Sarawak and realized that people there did not have electricity. Now here's my biggest beef with governments and lawmakers everywhere. Many policies and decisions are made at a desk, away from the real action, away from what people truly experience, dare I say, away from reality. Listen to Miss Yeo here. This is the part that makes me believe in her and everything she stands for.
Of course, the government will tell you that 98.9% of the people in Malaysia has access to electricity and that only 1% do not have access to electricity. Sometimes I find that lawmakers or people in the high look at the numbers, look at statistics like they are not a persons. But when you go down to the ground and you feel that people in Malaysia, in such a country, we are a middle-income country where we still have kids that do not have light at night to read and to study. And that is not reasonable.
In this last part, she snuffed out a widespread problem in Malaysia in recent times, cronyism. She said, in the past, you got a government project based on whom you know. In this town hall, she assured the delegation that she is open to all ideas and possibilities. Knowing her would not give anyone any advantage. Let's listen.
At least in my ministry, you do not need to know me. You only need to know how.
So there you go, a truly remarkable leader and exceptional communicator. I don't personally know Miss Yeo, and I only knew about her through this video. It shows the power of communication. I now envy Malaysia for having a Yeo Bee Yin. We, especially our government, can learn a lot from her. Meanwhile, I will be following her progress as she leads Malaysia into what I see is a promising future. Hope you enjoyed my analysis. Bye for now.